Hello! I promised you that I'd give you an update on what I thought of my new iPad Pro here. I've had it about 36 hours now. I put it through its paces all day yesterday, and here are my thoughts. First off, let's talk about the hardware. It's a beautiful device. The screen is gorgeous. It's very responsive. If you are upgrading from an older iOS device like I am, then the fact that you've got, you can use fingerprint here, LastPass, I can use Touch ID to get into things, to get into the device. That's all very nice. They did make some trade-offs. They made it beautiful, and part of their idea of beauty is that it is thin. I suspect Johnny Ive watches all of his movies. He buys them in 16:9, but watches them in 3:4, just so everything is the appropriate thickness for him. This is so thin, it's actually, I'm not very secure picking it up. It feels like I'm carrying around a sheet of glass that I'm going to drop and I'm going to break if I'm not too careful. Ironically, this back, aluminum back, is textured. It looks really nice. It's kind of a matte finish. The texture makes it even slipperier than the glass front. My fingers actually get better purchase on the front. You can see what happens. You activate things. That's an ugly design decision because it means I'm using the screen as a handle. I don't like that. The other trade-off with making it so thin is the battery. I did run it through its paces yesterday and make it through the entire day, but only just. It was a close call. And note I'm doing this without using cellular because I don't have my SIM card yet, and I didn't do any GPS driving. Both of those would tend to drain it down even more. I guess I was expecting it to get a day and a half out of battery, with a little buffer zone for if you're taking it on a business trip and you don't have access to a charge port. So, again, Apple, you made it beautiful. You didn't make it as functional as you could have. Also, let's stick to the hardware. In terms of the hardware, the sound on it is gorgeous. They have the 4 speakers that automatically adjust depending on the levels. Excuse me. So it stays in something like stereo. It's beautiful. There's a lot more bass in it. I find it's louder. If I'm doing something that generates a certain amount of noise, I can be playing my podcasts and hear it over that noise much better. Okay, let's talk about software, the design of the iOS here. Apple made it beautiful. iOS is beautiful. They kept it beautiful. But this is supposed to be functional too. So you need to sometimes trade off beauty in order to make something that's functional. For instance, you'll notice the home screen is still 5:4, even though there's a lot more real estate. These icons are not much larger than the icons on this, but the screen is much bigger. There's a lot more open space. You could fit more icons on there. It'd be nice to have that option. And yes, I know it would start to look cluttered, but let that be my choice. I could easily put 99% of what I use onto one screen and just have it accessible. Ditto with the home row. You could easily fit more icons on there. And same thing, look, I get 3 icons available when I'm trying to switch between my side, which apps to put on the side. I could fit a lot more in there. I'm not quite sure what these big rectangles are supposed to represent. Perhaps someday they'll show a picture of the screen. That one does. There you go. So that one actually knows how to behave, I guess. Do we really need that? I'd like to turn that off and just have a whole bunch of icons so I can know what to get to. That's going to become a real problem when I have 100 different apps that are available to go in here and I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Now, let's talk about recovery. What I thought was I would do a full backup on my old device, do a restore on this device. That would be a snapshot. Everything would work. Didn't quite work that way. Some of the apps transferred over, most of the apps transferred over. Not all of them. Some of them didn't transfer at all, I had to re-download them. Some of them the data didn't transfer. Some of them transferred, but they weren't inside the folders I'd arranged. The folders still transferred. Some of the apps transferred in the folders. Some of them were still way out, off into the screens. I've since narrowed the screens, compressed the screens down a little bit. I ended up with like 12 screens. So that is not perfect. That's going to take some time. In fact, I'm still in the process of transferring some data off of this one onto this one. So to sum it up, I really like this device. This is a nice iPad. It could be better. It could be a great device. It could be a home run if they just made a few modifications. And some of them are hardware, which obviously don't help me here. A lot of them are software. Just let things get a little bit more compact. Let me navigate a little bit more easily. And of course, there aren't a lot of apps that are taking advantage of this right now. Goodreader, for instance, you can see it's just scaled up. You could fit a lot more data on this screen with this app. So hopefully apps will start getting updated to take advantage of this enormous screen real estate. Other than that, I like it. I don't know if I'd recommend, if you really need one, get it. You'll like it. If you want it for watching videos, it's awesome for that. If you're not doing a lot of high-end stuff, you'll probably like it. But you'll do just as well if you wait a little while before you buy it. So there's my review. I hope that's helpful. Let me know what you think. And if you got one, let me know how you feel about it.